All right, guys, welcome back to the Efed Podcast here on the Atomic Dropcast Network. I'm Mikey Unlikely, and today we've got a special episode for you. Just a quick little highlight of something huge that's going on in e-wrestling. Guys, I'm joined today by Mac and Alex of the EWC, the Extreme Wrestling Corporation.
Hello.
Guys, how you doing?
Hello. I'm doing good.
I'm good as well. How are you?
I'm doing good also. Thanks for joining us here today. And guys, today we're talking about EWC's Wrestlefest. Wrestlefest is a 4-day event that started in 1998. This is the 17th edition. No other Fed has attempted to do this. We got live bands, food trucks, dunk tanks, autograph booths, and more. Over 20 matches, 60 wrestlers, 58 segments over 4 days. Guys, tell us about it.
All right. Well, I mean, this was a dream many years ago. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So WrestleFest got its start in 1998 as a singular event, and I mean the name is WrestleFest, so you think wrestling festival, but this is the first time that we're actually turning it into a multi-day event, and we decided to make it a 4-day event. So it starts this Friday. And Friday, Saturday, Sunday are all done in real time. So there's matches and segments throughout the day, scheduled times. And on those scheduled times, we're going to be posting them in real time, which has never been done before over a 3-day span. So we're super excited and pumped about that. And then it all comes to a head on Monday, which is the 16th. Where the entire show on Monday will be posted all at once at 8 p.m. CST. So it's a huge event. Like you said, you know, we've got over 20 matches, we've got 60 wrestlers, and an unbelievable, I mean, record for us, 58 segments. I mean, this is being supported by the whole Fed. It's unbelievable. And I know, Alex, you want to talk about some of the matches?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you said, this is a really big show, really big weekend. I'm very excited about the matches that we've got happening, especially the first 3 days. As Mac mentioned, we have these being posted in real time at the time slots that are posted on the card. So, for example, we are starting out on the first day at 11 a.m. Central Time with the triple threat match. We've got two of our stars from the Brawl brand facing off against someone from FSW. We've also got a 4-way ambulance match at 1 p.m. Central. And the first of 2 title matches for the day, we've got Cyrus Black defending his international championship against Samantha Titaness Hamilton. And that's actually going to be the first of 2 title defenses for Cyrus Black for the weekend.
On day one.
On day one, yep. So we've got that one. That's probably, that's one of the bigger matches for this particular first day. And we've got we have the opportunity to give someone a debut from the Brawl brand at 5 p.m. Central. And then our main event for the first day, we've got the Tag Team Championship on the line as the team of Melody Malone and Iggy Swango defend against the team of Lunchtime, who won the title shot at the Rumble in Texas. Lunchtime representing FSW and Melody and Iggy actually representing 2 of the brands. Melody's in Rampage and Iggy's in Brawl. So we have three brands represented in one tag team title affair. And this won't be the only time Melody wrestles in the weekend as well. We'll get to that in a little bit. Second day we've got a tag team match that represents all 4 brands. And we've got a special singles match at 3 p.m. Central. We've got the television championship. John T. Kelly Faith Rivers defends against John T. Kelly. And then we've got 2 of our Brawl stars facing off at 5 Central. And then 8 p.m. Central is a match that I'm kind of proud of myself. We have the X Division Championship on the line in the main event of day 2 as Stephanie Masuda defends her title against Xavier Reed in a match that I call Weapon X. which if you're familiar with the Ultimate X match in Impact, most notably the more recent matches where they have kind of the steel scaffolding, this is that match to a higher degree, as we have weapons kind of put into the scaffolding for the competitors to play with, so to speak. So that's going to be a fun match to read when that happens on night 2.
It's going to be mighty dangerous.
Oh yeah, I'm for the people that want just a little bit more violence in their e-fedding experience. That might help. Then we have day 3 on December 15th, kicking off with a match between an FSW tag team and a Rampage team, as well as a Rampage only showcase of a singles match at 1. Then at 3 p.m., another match I'm kind of happy about seeing happen. We have at 3 p.m. Central, we have Brawl versus Prime. We have 4 people on each team in a War Games match. And so we have David Gibson, David Bugle, Azumi Goto, and Kendrick Cross taking on the team of Quinn Collins, Alexander Damon, Stalker, and Silver and Gold. And again, I'm pretty excited about that match. Many people will remember that we just recently had NXT's War Games. And so this is a little bit closer to the kind of traditional War Games match.
Okay.
Where the match is like submit or surrender.
The match beyond, yeah.
Yeah, the match beyond. And so I'm very excited to kind of see a little bit more of an old school approach to that match. And again, we have 2 of our brands kind of battling it out for bragging rights in that match. Then at 5 p.m. Central, we have Wes Walker taking on Kyle Gaucher, who's defending his North American Championship. And then at 8 p.m. Central, we have our main event. It's a culmination of a big storyline that's actually been happening for a good couple months now, 2 to 3 months at least, as Ace King, who has been United States champion for over 2 years at this point. We're talking like by the time we get to this match, he will have held the title for 777 days, and that's important for a guy who calls himself the Gambler.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. I've never heard of it. It's amazing title.
Yeah, and so he's putting his title up on the line against a man who recently kind of turned to the dark side, as we say, and with his passion for the fashion, almost quite literally a heel turn. I do believe some Louboutins were involved in the affairs. Scorpio, the People's Camp, as he used to call himself, the S Factor. That's a noble name for anyone from TFW for experts or other similar feds. They might recognize that name. But Ace King versus Scorpio for the U.S. Championship as our main event for the 3rd day of the weekend. And that's a pretty big storyline that's kind of really building up to this point. So those are the 3 days where each match, as we've talked about before, is going to get posted in real time. And then we have segments from roster members, and we'll have some look at the live bands and food trucks that will be on hand over the course of the weekend. And all of these are being posted in real time.
That's awesome.
And then
so each day we're starting at what time?
Each day starts at 11 a.m. Central.
Central.
So that'll be the first. That's the first match.
The first match. Yeah, we actually start at 9. I believe it's the first segment. Will be the
first segment for each day. So yeah, nice and early, and it makes sense because this was something we talked about a little bit in terms of time zones and stuff. But it's just the fact that this event is taking place in France, but it just makes sense to have in general just an all-day affair since it is a 4-day festival.
Absolutely, and with so many handlers, everybody can almost see it in real time, regardless of where you are.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, and just to correct myself, sorry, in the CST time zone, our event starts at 10 a.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 10 a.m.
Correct.
the main event's at 8 p.m.
Yep.
So from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. there's something happening every half hour.
That's awesome. Almost 12 hours a day for 4 days. Well, I guess the last day is all at once, but for 3 days in a row, that's pretty crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. And then again, so then Monday is our main show of the weekend, and as Mac just explained, that will be kind of posted all at once, just kind of like you would expect for a show to be posted. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm actually gonna let Mac take over for this first one. Our opening match is for something called the Drake Memorial Cup, Fatal 4-Way, one person from each brand. I'm gonna let Mac kind of explain about this a little bit more.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Ashton Drake was a member of the EWC. He's our only ever 3-time undisputed champion. He came in as a rookie. He had never done the game before. As far as I know, he was a rookie to our Fed. He took the Fed by storm in his rookie season. He defeated, at that point, an undefeated Jaden Explode Hunter. He beat him for the undisputed championship. An amazing guy that everybody respected in the Fed and outside the Fed. And earlier this year, he passed away. In real life, the handler passed away. And so we've, done as much as we could think of to try and honor him. And we wanted to do something annually for him, just because he meant so much to all of us. And so we came up with the Drake Memorial Cup that we're going to have every year at Wrestlefest. And we have one member from each brand to participate. And so participating this year, we've got Mercenary, Gabrielle Visconti, Samantha Hamilton in her second match, and former undisputed champion Dominic Sanders. And really, these 4 people truly live up to what Drake did as a wrestler in character and as a handler. Just very humble people, very strong writers, people who are very involved in the Fed. And so we thought this would be a great way to honor somebody that we respect and we miss. We miss a great deal. He was a great guy, and so that's the first match on Monday is dedicated to Drake and his memory.
That's amazing. That's good stuff. Anytime you can do something for someone who's passed on, is a callback to them and keeping them alive and in memory is great.
Mm-hmm. I agree. He was a great guy. We miss him, and he's one of those guys that's had a lasting effect on everybody in the Fed and people that are new. I mean, they hear his name quite often. Actually, our newest join, who's new to Efeding, period, kind of dedicated his first match to Drake just because he'd read his work and he was really impressed with it. So Bosa, his first match is dedicated to him, and that just shows his reach and how good he was. So. Alex, I'll let you take it from there.
Problem, yeah, like you said, because I had only come in, I think, especially in my particular role more recently, and like you said, I recognize the things that he's done, and this particular match isn't the only way that we're honoring him in some regard, but we'll get to that in a little bit. The next match on the main show is a tag team match as the returning NSFW of Mike McGuire and Bishop Church take on the team of Lavender and Richard Garcia. This is another kind of battle between brands, another Brawl versus Prime match. I was very happy to see NSFW return within the past month or so, and they've been looking to kind of reestablish themselves in the tag division. And so they're going up against a team from Prime that's kind of a newer team. The Lavender and Richard Garcia have not teamed as much, but they're familiar with each other. So it's just it's always just exciting just to kind of see these tag team matches happen, because I like to think that the tag team division in EWC has been pretty strong throughout the year between teams like Rebel and NSFW and plenty of other teams throughout the year. But this is another opportunity to see the tag division kind of take a little bit of a spotlight.
Yeah, I'd like to add something to that too. If you notice, the layout of the card was really strategic. All 4 days have a minimum of 1 tag team match, and all 4 days have a minimum of 2 championship matches. So we really try to make each day mean something. You know, Monday is kind of known as our meat and potatoes, the big finale, but really each day on its own could be a standalone pay-per-view, and that's kind of what we really wanted to establish. We wanted to show the importance of tag team, and because we love tag team, we're big fans of it, but also opportunities to newer joins, opportunities to past champions, opportunities to the current champions. Like, we really wanted to have this as a throwback. You can tell by the poster, I really wanted an old school type feel, like 60s, 70s, 80s type of wrestling, the old school type of feel to it. And so that's, you know, we really kind of sprinkled a little bit across each of the 4 days. So I'll give it back to you, Alex.
Every single night can change significantly the direction of the Fed.
Exactly. And you know what? And that's why the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are so crucial with the live and real-time postings, because each segment, what we've done is we've allowed people an hour's notice. So up to an hour before their scheduled time, they could submit the segment. So whatever happens 2 matches ago could reflect what they write in their segment.
They can react in real time.
Exactly. And
that's awesome.
On Twitter and on our Fighter Talk, the EWC Fighter Talk, and of course on Discord. We're going to be on Discord like the entire time. So in real time, people can interact both in character and out of character. So it's going to be, it's never been done before. And it's either going to be really, really great, or it's going to be horrible and I'll be chased from the game. So
yeah,
Alex, you can continue.
It's very exciting. I've been talking to a few people, because I know quite a few people that I've played the game with throughout the years, and yeah, this is very much a very unique event, very unique situation for Efeding just in general. But yeah, up next is our first kind of big championship match, as we have Jordan Sharp defending his Indie Championship, which is the top title for the Prime brand, against Killjoy Ito, who's held the title quite a few times in the last couple of years. And so the two of them are facing off in a ladder match. So ladder matches are always fun, and
always.
The fun thing about these particular characters, to my recollection, they are not exactly flip-de-doo wrestlers. So this will not be like a really big spot fest per se, but this will be two guys that are really trying their best to, really give it their all to make sure that they can climb the ladder and retrieve the championship.
Sure.
So yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun to see those, like, because I feel like with ladder matches, it kind of boils down to two different kinds of ladder matches. You either have the spot fest or you have the slug fest of sorts, where it's just like you either have them doing all these crazy maneuvers off the ladders, or you just see them beating each other up with it. So this particular match is going to be a fun one to read and see who comes out on top with the Indie Championship, and to basically be the top person within the brand of Prime. And on that note, the next match we have is the second of these big title opportunities for the FSW Championship, as Stitches the Clown defends his title against Candy. And these two characters have had a very storied rivalry, we'll say, that actually started off when both competitors were on Prime. So these two have had their share of battles on both Prime and FSW over the last couple seasons.
Wow.
And so these two will be going at it for the FSW Championship to see who's the top of the FSW brand. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
And so for those that don't know, so we have 4 brands in the EWC. So on Monday, the 3 top championships for those 4 brands are on the line. So the Indie Championship is the top prize of Prime. And what Prime is it's sort of like a micro brand show. It's a 2 role-play 500-word max that takes place in the indie circuit. And so basically Prime is like the best of the indie circuit that EWC broadcasts on their screens. FSW is our development, sort of an NXT style type of idea where they're sort of trying to compete with the main brand, and in a lot of ways they really, really do. They've kind of really come into their own, and they're their own thing. But that's our development brand. And then you have Monday Night Brawl and Friday Night Rampage as our 2 main brands, our staples, where the main title, the Undisputed Championship, is defended. And I'll let Alex talk about the main event.
Yep, and our main event for WrestleFest, our main event for the weekend, really, is the EWC Undisputed Championship. As Cyrus Black, who is making his second title defense of the weekend. He had won the Undisputed Championship back at Night of Champions, in which the main event was what we call the Insanity Cage, a match where essentially every champion of the EWC, that's every champion from, well, we've kind of explained all the different titles that are in the Fed. So just imagine each champion, and that includes both of the tag team champions, mind you, participated in that main event. And the winner of that came out with the Undisputed Championship. And at the end of a very grueling Insanity Cage match, Cyrus Black is the one who came out on top, holding both the Undisputed and International Championships. So this is him defending the Undisputed Championship, the top title of the entire Fed.
Yeah, and so the title's called the Undisputed Championship, and so as Alex described about Night of Champions, the whole point of that match is the winner, truly is undisputed, because every single champion, and we've got 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 championships, two tag team champions in there. So possible up to 10 people inside that match. And the winner could be anybody from any brand, as long as you're holding a title going in, is truly the undisputed champion. So, Cyrus Black beat out all the other champions of the EWC to really claim that undisputed. And Melody Malone, go ahead, talk about her.
Yep. Melody, who had started out on, she was very much a part of the FSW brand. Up until about 3 months ago, I want to say, at least 2 months ago, because she basically got called up from FSW to Rampage, and then she won the Rumble in Texas, which was a 40-person kind of Royal Rumble type match. I believe we had 10 from each brand, and at the end of a very long and grueling Rumble match, Melody Malone is the one who came out on top and earned her shot at the main event of WrestleFest. And so we have Melody facing off against Cyrus. It's a Brawl versus Rampage type scenario. We also have the added kind of wrinkle of the storyline going on, in which they have a bit of a relationship, the two of them, from storylines happening. So this is very much a very unique kind of situation that we find ourselves in. And we have also the situation with the championship itself, which is actually a new title. It's actually it's a new design, basically, for the championship. I do want to give that over to Mac a little bit, just to kind of talk about the significance of the new title design that we're having made official for WrestleFest and beyond.
Yeah, so once again, this is another way that we're honoring Drake, both the handler and the character. So, as we mentioned, he was the first and only 3-time undisputed champion. Now, back in, was it 2015, I think, Jaden Explode Hunter defeated Shadow Man, who at that time was the world champion. So we had the EWC Championship and the World Championship, and Explode ended up beating Shadow Man, and he combined both titles so that we once again had just one. once again having the Undisputed for the first time in many, many years. So basically, Explode was kind of the originator of the new Undisputed, and one of the original designers, and I mean, amazing champion. He's part of that history too. But basically, what we decided to do to honor Drake one more time, because his name is synonymous with this design and with the championship now, is we've retired that design in character. It's in the Hall of Fame. It's next to his bust in character. So that's been retired, and all of us staff, we came together and came up with this idea of this new championship, the new Undisputed belt. It's got all 4 colors of our brands, the rubies on the belt. We've got green and orange and blue and red, each representing the 4 brands. I think it's a beautiful championship. I think it really stands out. I don't think it's comparable to any other championship out there. I think it represents the Fed really well. It's truly undisputed because it represents each brand on there with the colors. I mean, Alex spent a great deal of time on the little details, and I think I think all of us really came together to make a belt that lives up to I mean, we've been around since '97. Yes, we've had a few breaks in there, but I mean, it's this belt has a lot of history, and I think this design really captures that and captures the brands. And again, we wanted to honor Drake. We really did, and I think retiring the old design for him, I think was just one more thing that we could do to say, what, we love you, we appreciate you, we miss you, and you meant a lot, not only to us, but to the community as a whole.
And that's an awesome summation of what the event is, and what Drake meant to the whole Fed and everybody in it. Guys, check out WrestleFest at EWC4Life.com. That's EWC, the number 4, life.com. It's going to be happening this Friday all the way through Monday, every single day from, like we said, 10 a.m. Central Time all the way to basically 10 p.m. Central Time. So check them out, EWC for Life. Guys, talk to us about, are you guys accepting applications? Are you looking for new members? And go from there.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is our season finale. This is our granddaddy. So our season finale, as far as the pay-per-view, ends on the 16th. And then we have our EWC Honors Award show on the 30th. And then we're on a bit of a winter break. But we are accepting applications right now as we set up for 2020. We've actually, in the last 5 days, I don't know if it's the WrestleFest hype or what, but in the last week we've had about 15 new joins. Wow. So that's incredible. And the thing I'm going to stress again is the brands are separate. So we try to cater as much as possible. If you don't like word limits, if you don't want to be constrained, join Brawler Rampage. If you like the idea of having a limit, 1,500 words, development type thing, join FSW. If you want a micro Fed situation where it's only 500 words, you can write 2 role plays, then Prime's for you. So there's really options for everybody. It's an extremely welcoming community. We preach family because we are a family, and once you're EWC for life, and we'd love to have you.
Awesome. All right, guys, check out WrestleFest this weekend. It's a huge show. It's a huge undertaking. It's going to be fun to watch. I can't wait to see what happens. There's some big names, big matches, titles on the line every single night. It's going to be a great time. EWC, the number 4, life.com. Guys, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Much appreciated.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that's it for us today here at the Efed Podcast. Join us next Monday, as always, for episode 7. Thank you very much.